Hello, welcome back students to our lesson number 24 in business studies. Topic is population and employment. Today we are going to look at the causes of unemployment. So in our previous lesson, that is lesson number 23, we were looking at the types of unemployment, and now we want to look at the causes. What causes this unemployment? Number one, we talk about rapid population growth. We touched briefly on these causes in our previous lesson. Now today we want to look at all the causes. So when the population is high, the number of workers entering the job market is quite high and available jobs. What does that mean? Many people will remain unemployed. Alright, when we had population at 10 million, right? It was possible. The people above 18 years was maybe 3 million or 5 million, and all of them would be absorbed in the job market. But as population rises, it means educational facilities have to expand. Universities and other tertiary colleges have to increase. Their intake will be higher, meaning more people join the job market. But the jobs are not sufficient. So that means what? The unemployment because of the rapid population growth. Number two, we talk of inadequate cooperant factors of production. There are four factors of production, namely labor, land, capital, and machine. Now here we are talking about labor, talking about unemployment, which affects human beings. But then we are saying there are those other factors that work hand in hand with labor to facilitate the process of production. So if these factors are not enough, if they are insufficient or they are inadequate, what happens? There is going to be unemployment. So we are saying cooperant factors of production are those that need to be combined with labor for production to take place. These factors may include land and capital. So when these factors are not there, if you don't have enough land, if you don't have enough capital, however much human beings we have, they are not going to be employed. That leads to unemployment. Farms cannot expand. Why? Because there is no land for expansion, meaning there are no additional jobs. The other factor or cause of unemployment is what we call use of inappropriate technology. Alright? Inappropriate technology refers to that technology that does not favor use of human labor in production. For example, use of machines instead of human labor. There are some production methods that are capital intensive. Like we're talking about types of transport, form of transport. And we say pipeline is capital intensive. It does not involve a lot of labor. You want to move oil from Mombasa to Malaga, to Kampala, or to Eldoret. Alright, you have two options. One, use road, where you are going to use the trucks. And averagely, one truck can carry maybe 30,000 liters of oil. Alright? So if you are talking about importing a ship full of oil, this is maybe 1 million liters, then you need very many tankers. And every tanker needs 2 people, the driver and the loader. So if you need 200 tankers or the trucks, that is 400 people. But if you use the pipeline, maybe it only needs maximum of 10 people is working in the office. So this one is capital intensive. It employs less of. The same can happen with the banks. Now they're using ATMs where a machine serves you. You don't need human beings to give you the money. You want to deposit money, you can do it at ATM. Or you can even use your mobile phone. Also, this type of technology, which is inappropriate, reduces the levels of employment. However, say, when firms opt to use capital-intensive techniques in production, many people will remain unemployed as their work is now done by machines. But some of the reasons for using capital-intensive techniques may include: one, they're intensive, they're efficient, they're cheap, and they avoid high wage rates. Remember, these are private business people. Their main objective is to maximize profit. How do you do that? You cut down on wastage by improving efficiency, avoid high costs of production by avoiding paying wages. Machines are not paid salaries and wages. Once you buy, it runs. So that is why they may opt to go for capital intensive. The other cause of unemployment is rural to urban migration. So this refers to the movement of people from rural areas to urban areas. With the rural-urban migration, many skilled people move to towns in search of jobs, and since available jobs in urban centers cannot accommodate them, many remain unemployed. Not everyone can get a job in the urban area. So when people move because there are better opportunities, better housing and infrastructure, some of them get jobs, others end up not getting jobs. So there's a lot of unemployment in urban areas. The other cause of unemployment is inappropriate education system. An education system that trains the youth to be job seekers but not job creators. Excuse me. Alright, I repeat, an education system that trains the youth to be job seekers but not job creators makes the youth unable to become self-employed but focusing on looking for employment. Since the available job opportunities cannot accommodate the rising number, so many become unemployed. So if we have an education system that focuses on people creating jobs, right, and not being employed, then it helps solve employment. Seasonality in production is another cause, right? Seasonal production leads to seasonal employment in the sense that unemployment is high during off-peak and peak periods. Then low market demand is another cause. So where there is a lower market demand, it reduces profits made by firms, and this discourages investments and expansion of firms, thereby reducing employment. So we are saying there is low demand for certain products. So if there is low demand, people are going to be discouraged from investing in production of those commodities. And if they don't invest in production, what means is that employment opportunities are going to. Next, we look at measures to solve unemployment problem. How do we solve, how do we tackle the problem of unemployment? How do we reduce unemployment? Now, to answer this question, we look at the various causes of unemployment. So we try to treat or address every cause of unemployment. For example, we say one of the measures, solutions to unemployment is to encourage the private sector to create employment opportunities. So the government alone cannot create jobs. We also encourage the private sector. So through measures such as lower taxes and subsidies, firms will be encouraged to expand their operations and even invest more. And this will go a long way in creating employment opportunities. You can also encourage labor-intensive techniques. Alright, so this one is supposed to solve the problem of inappropriate production methods. Alright, where are the techniques that require the use of more laborers in production should be adopted as opposed to where we use machines. So the government may encourage the use of labor-intensive techniques in production through reducing the minimum wage rate in order to make labor cheaper. So if you have a strong trade unions which bargain the government to raise the minimum wages, so if these wages are considered high, then employers will not afford to employ as many workers. So the government should reduce the minimum wage so that they say people can be paid 8,000. So employers will be able to afford. And this one will encourage them to use labor-intensive methods of production. Then we also talk about adopting a relevant education system. Remember we have said that the education system is not relevant. It can also lead to unemployment. So an education system that trains the youth to be job creators and not job seekers should be adopted. That brings us to the end of our first part